sponsored by Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. This week we have one sporting event going on in Delta State Athletics as our Delta State Statesmen football team kicks off their 2025 season at home Thursday evening as they host the Central Missouri Mules. This season, the Statesmen come in with 5 preseason all-conference nods, one being quarterback Cole Kurt, wide receiver Nino LeMay, linebacker William Carter, safety Taylon Doss, and cornerback Darius McFarland. Also, William Carter earned a D2 football Elite 100 preseason watch list. So to preview this week's game against Central Missouri, I'll bring up head coach Todd Cooley for opening comments, and we'll open up the questions to the press row. Coach?
Appreciate everybody being here. Thursday night is here. We're excited. Hopefully we have a big crowd here Thursday night. I think the weather is going to be unseasonably cooler than what we're used to. I'm excited about this opportunity. It's always exciting to start your season, especially when you can start it at home. We're playing against a really good football team in Central Missouri, a team that's nationally ranked, deservedly so. I don't think they're ranked high enough. They got a really good roster. Coach Lamberson's done a great job. They're 20-5 in their last 2 seasons. In 23, they lost in the playoffs by 1 to Harding, who eventually won the national championship. They score a lot of points. They're extremely big, physical. They got a lot of weapons offensively. They've got a lot of pieces defensively. They've got we haven't been able to get film of these guys, but Rich Wright takes over as the defensive coordinator there, who was the head coach at Northwest Missouri. He's been just a tremendous defensive coach, great coach, and they've done a really good job at Northwest Missouri defensively, and now he's going to be the D coordinator at Central Missouri. So we imagine the defense will look a little different than what people have said that they've played in the past. So we're excited. We've had a good summer. I like this football team. We're going to try to see if we can play with these guys for a little bit on Thursday night. We got some guys coming back, but I'm really pleased with the way we've worked in the off season. I'm pleased with all the newcomers that are here, and I like this team. We're going to be in some adverse situations Thursday night. We're going to see how we handle them, and that's going to be a big deal for our season. We'll learn a lot about our team on Thursday night. I don't think anybody at this point in the season is truly ready to play, but you need to play, and you need to be ready to play. But, we still wish we had some more preparation we could do, but you got to get them ready in 3 weeks to play a game like this, and that's not a lot of time, but everybody's kind of got the same problems. I think we've done a good job for the most part. We've stayed healthy for the most part. So I think we're in a good spot for where we need to be at this point in our season. So big challenge ahead. We need everybody there. We need a lot of energy in the stadium on Thursday night. I cannot say it enough. Everybody come out. It's going to be a beautiful night for football, and I know everybody's ready to see some football. So we need you there. But other than that, it's time to go, and we're excited about it.
At this point, of course, first game of the year coming up. Just, of course, the guys practicing and everything. How much are they looking forward to seeing some different people?
Yeah, I think you get tired of hitting on each other and practicing against one another, and it's always good to see a different opponent. It's going to be a lot of guys playing their first game here. We've talked about that. So you got a lot of things. There's going to be new guys. Some guys starting for their first time here in their career at Delta State, and you think they're going to handle it well because they've handled it well in practice. But when those lights come on, sometimes it's a little different, and people in the stands and all that good stuff. But yeah, we need to play somebody else. I'm sure Central Missouri probably feels the same way. Everybody does this time of year. It gets exciting when you get ready for an opponent, and just so happens we're playing a really good one. So
now, just the probably preseason pick to make the playoffs, judging by the rankings. Of course, that's definitely, position by season's end y'all would like to be. Um, kind of a top Division II contest right off the bat. I mean,
Yeah.
does that kind of add to the opening game?
I think it does. I think it does. Which anytime you play an opening game, it's big. But when you play somebody that's nationally ranked and you got them at home, that's a big deal. So I think it. When we announced this game, I think it added a little bit to our off season. It added a little bit to our summer workouts. So anytime you're playing an opponent like that, and I think it's big for Central Missouri as well. Talking with Coach Lamerson, they've never played a Gulf South opponent. And there's not many opportunities to play us much more. There's only 4 of us left, so they're coming down here for the first time, and to their credit, they're a proud program as we are, and they didn't flinch on that either. So no, I think it's exciting because since I've been here, we haven't played an MIAA opponent, so. I think it's been a while since Delta State's played one. You probably have to go back to 2011, I think. So, that's a proud conference up there. They do a great job, and I'm excited. I'm sure they'll travel well. So we need our fans to show up too. But yeah, I think it adds a little bit to you. It was kind of a downer when Mars Hill canceled their game with us. We went out there last year, and then they decided not to come back, which is beyond me. But anyway, Central Missouri was able to, they wanted to play, and so we kind of, I think we have a chance. This is probably the biggest opening game since I've been here, without a doubt. And I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Of course, this is the first of 8 non-conference games out of an 11-game game schedule. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, looking at it every week. Of course, last year y'all had a difficult schedule. This year is no different. It'll be a little longer before y'all play a conference game.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk about the makeup with just 8 non-conference and only 3 conference.
Yeah, it sucks. It's tough, but we're doing everything that we can. Our administration has done everything they can. I want to thank our president, Dr. Ennis, our athletic director, Coach Kennison, because they've been vigilant in trying to find us opponents and vigilant in trying to, kind of think outside the box on certain things. And, we do have another tough schedule. The good thing about it is we're playing 11 Division II football opponents. We're playing, I think, is it 10 in-region games and then 1 out-of-region game. So our strength of schedule will be good again. We'll have in-region stuff to look at the end of the year. So anyway, it's just it's a big one to start. I still feel like no matter what happens Thursday, and that's what Coach Lamerson talked about too, is like we feel like this game is going to help both of our football teams, and that's what you want to do. You want to schedule. Coach Kennison talks about all the time. If you want to get in the postseason, you got to schedule the best teams you possibly can, and you got to win those games. And we're going to try to, hopefully we're around and late in the game and maybe have a chance in this one. You never know, but man, we're going to have to play really, really well because they're really, really good.
How much do you think this game will set the tone for the season?
I don't know. It probably depends on what all happens in the game. Do we deal with adversity the right way? Do we overcome some stuff? Do we find an identity? I think every team wants to go in having an identity, but you really don't know your identity till you go through something. And that's, I don't know. I could probably better answer that question Thursday night, Friday morning. But you just never know. Every season there's something that happens. You're like, all right, that's when the season turned. That's when it turned for positive or for negative. You don't know. You never know when that's coming. It's just like when you play a football game and you're playing a tough football game. I've heard coaches say it, and I've said it 1,000 times. It comes down to 4 or 5 plays. The problem is you don't know which 4 or 5 plays those are going into the game. If you did, you'd make sure those 4 or 5 you were locked in and giving it all you had, right? So we just got to go out and play every snap to the best of our ability, play hard, and then, you know, when something happens, it's next play mentality, you know, because, man, they're going to make plays. They're really good. I mean, they're averaging 40-something points. I mean, shoot, you know, they know how to win football games. So that's not going to change, you know, and everybody talks about, well, they lost a Harlan Hill winner 2-time air, great player, but their system's really good and what they do, and they've got some really good quarterbacks coming back. And, you know, anytime you list on a 2 deep, it could be this guy or this guy. That means you got 2 that can play that are really good, and that's the way they listed it. So we don't know who we'll see out there, but we know whoever they put out there is going to be a good player at that position. And you're talking about an O-line that averages 325. You're talking about a D-line that's, you know, got all kinds of size. They got big safeties, big corners, big linebackers, everybody. I mean, they're just a good, great football team that's coming in here, and we're going to be challenged, and we got our work cut out for us. But we knew that when we signed up for this game, so it's not a surprise to us.
Coach, you're number 13, season opening games, you're 11-1 overall record. What attributes to that success in season openers for you guys?
I think conditioning a lot. I think that our teams are usually in pretty good physical condition early. I don't know. Some might say scheduling. Some might say, you know, I don't know. We're 11-1. We are that in season opening games. You know, when those games are at home, usually it's hot. We're usually used to that. Well, that's going out the window this week. But I don't know. I think that's got a lot to do with it. I think our players do a really good job, and our coaches do a good job of fall camp, getting them in shape, getting them ready to go. And I think our players did a good job before fall camp even started by being here this summer and on a voluntary basis. And I got good reports. They worked out extremely hard, and you could tell that early in practice that we were in pretty good physical shape. Because I'm telling you what, man, it's hard to play this game when you're tired. Hard to do anything when you're tired. But playing football is extremely difficult when you're tired. And, you know, we're going to get tired, but it's what can you keep pushing through it, you know? So I don't know. I wish I could better answer that question. I don't have the answers to that, but I think you'd have to start with conditioning.
And new season, new expansion to the Division II playoffs going from 28 to 32 this year. Input on that?
Not really. I mean, until we end regionalization, it's not a true playoff. So whatever. I mean, if you're going to put the 32 best teams in there, now we're talking. But they're not going to do that. They're going to keep going regionalization, and they're going to keep saving money, and they're going to keep doing it. You know, is it good? Yeah, because that's 4 more teams in the playoffs get a playoff experience. You know what I'm saying? But it's still the same old until we – and we're getting closer. We're getting closer to being more like Division FCS and Division III. We're getting closer, but, you know, we still need to end regionalization.
You mentioned conditioning throughout the camp. Any other differences you've seen this year in your team this year in the camp other from last year?
I think they do a good job. I like this team so far because, like I said, now we put them in some adversity, but they're going to be in true adversity Thursday night. But here's what I like about this team: when you ask them to correct something, they correct it. You know, we're not dealing with as much stuff that doesn't pertain to football. You know, there's not a lot of distractions. This team comes in and kind of clocks in and goes to work, and they enjoy it. You know, there's not a lot of distractions. You know, I mean, it's just little things like, you know, parking a certain way. Hey, let's fix that. You know, a couple of days we filled up all the spots in there, and nobody could drive through. Well, we addressed it. It's been great ever since. You know, we driving over to the complex using Statesman Boulevard. You know, not speeding through the neighborhoods that are over here. You know, just stuff that you got to keep reminding them of because they're kids and they're young and they're trying to get to class and they're trying to get somewhere on time. Just things like that. They seem to handle it. You know, and I like being around them. They're really pleasant when it comes to that. They practice the right way. You know, they work the right way. Is it perfect? No, but nothing ever is. But I do like this team when it comes to that. Nothing else. No questions about.
As far as players and kind of like some. I know there were some kind of like some positions, some spots you may have been concerned about depth wise. How are things like? Of course, I know kind of like the line position, maybe linebacker position. What are some key things that you may have been concerned about a couple of weeks ago, but you see improving now?
Well, I just think I think that our overall depth in certain spots is going to be an issue. We're going to have to stay healthy, you know, and we're just going to have to knock on wood and play hard, and hopefully we stay healthy for a while, you know. That's always going to be a concern, you know. Staying healthy is big. That's part of having a great season. You know, anytime you want to try to do something special, you know, you got to be able to overcome and stay healthy and all those things. Man, the thing that you just concerned about is just we got some guys just, and they'll have them too. They got some guys probably making their first career starts too. You know, it's football. It's football, and they go back to doing what they're supposed to do. But you know, you get those guys in there, and you're just worried about them early, like how they gonna hold up. But are they gonna freak out? Are they gonna keep playing well and do what they're coached to do? You know, coaches, we worry about every little thing too. So, you know, I worry about is our pregame routine the right? Is our meal that we're serving the right meal? Are we getting them enough rest? Are we doing this? Are we doing? You think about everything, but at the end of the day, players know they've got to control what they can control too. And I think that is the one. Going back to your question, I think we have a group that wants to do well, and they want to play for this university and for this logo, and they want to represent it the right way. And they're going to try to do everything in their power to give all their effort on Thursday night. And, you know, I think it's going to be exciting to watch us play. I do. And I think it's obviously for people to get to come see this bunch play that haven't ever seen them play down here. Man, they're a really good football team, and I think they'll be impressed by what Central Missouri puts out on the product they put on the field as well. So ought to be a good ball game, you know. I was reading on D2Football.com, which I'm fixing to quit doing that stuff, but, you know, we're not even mentioning any games. Delta State's not mentioning any of the key matchups throughout the season for the Gulf South, and I'm sitting there like, well who do we need to play? I mean, because you can't even say this is a big game, but, you know, West Florida, Lenore Ryan's just a bigger game to our conference, I guess. I don't know. So D2 football, they're not giving us much love right now. You got to go out and earn it. You know, we got a chance to go earn it Thursday night. You know, it is what it is.
And also in the preseason bowl.
Oh man, we're dead last.
Yeah.
We're dead last, man. We're dead last, man. You know, we're fourth. We're picking up the bus, man.
When you got guys like Cole Kirk that has been with the program 6 years, of course William Carter, this is his fifth year in the program too. He was redshirted his first, and then he's developed. When you got those veteran guys,
Mm-hmm.
how much do they kind of add from a leadership perspective? Because I know they don't want this year to be, you know, as people are predicting. It looks like.
That's why you play the game. You know, you play the game, and it's amazing to me that, you know, people forget we were 6-4 a year ago. Okay, before that we were 21-4 in 2 seasons. And we were 6-4 last year. We had a game canceled, which I felt okay about. We lost in 4 overtimes on the road. Okay, happens. Lost Cole Kirk in that ball game. You know, had a tough schedule last year. We traveled more than anybody else did in Division II football, as we will this year. So it is what it is. You know, it's funny how, you know, I don't like it for our kids. You know, I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? But I think our players, we've got some decent players too, you know, and we've got some guys that have been here, like you just mentioned Kirk, you mentioned William Carter, you know, you got Taylon Doss, you got Nino LeMay, you got some guys that are some good players that are invested here, Curtis Reardon's of the world, you know, and you know, it's okay. You don't have to predict us to do anything. We know we get to play the games, and preseason polls are just for this, to stir up conversation. But at least people talking about it. You know what I'm saying? You and I are sitting there talking about it, and we're just going to talk about it. And hey, man, respect is earned, and we got to go get respect. But you still got to remember something now. This is a proud football program here. That's why I'm honored to be the head coach here. Okay, we got a tough challenge Thursday night. We know that, but we're not where we like playing in games like that. So we want to play good teams, and that's how we've always been. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, we're excited. We're excited, okay? And at the end of the day, we get to go play a football game, and we get to, you know, we control our own destiny when it comes to that. So great questions. Anything else right now? So we've been here before, man. We're, you know, pick low in polls and stuff like that. It's not new to us. So anyway, very, very happy to be opening up the season Thursday night. Need everybody to come out there. I think this is going to be a good football game. I think that you're going to enjoy watching this team play. Man, we'll see what happens. Go Statesmen. Thank you.
As Coach Cooley mentioned, we need everybody out there Thursday at Parker's Field at McCool Stadium. Fans, we urge you to wear white. It's going to be a whiteout this week. Other than that, 6 o'clock kickoff for Thursday. Next week we'll have not only Coach Cooley, we'll have our men's and women's soccer coaches, Austin Jackman and Chloe Kane. But thank you all for attending today at the Mississippi Farm Bureau press conference, and we wish you have a great week. Remember, come in Thursday to McCool Stadium for our Statesmen to host Central Missouri. Thank you all. Go Statesmen.